Welcome to this episode of The Buzz, your insider source for the latest and greatest in the fence industry. Hosted by Sam and Aaron.
Here we go, Sam. It's the March Buzz. The year is going so fast. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I lost track of the episodes. This is like what, 8, 9, something
Number
like
eight.
that.
Number
All
eight.
right. Yeah, it's awesome.
And Sam, it's amazing how many times I've seen you in 1 month. I'm setting records.
We've spent a lot of time together this month. That's for sure.
Yeah. Between Fence Tech, and we'll talk later on about the retreat. We've had some great times and met a lot of good people and some clients, new clients, and some friends. So lots of good memories we made this month for sure. So it's an exciting time for DotCom.
It was good. You just made me think, though, a lot of folks that watch this really don't have a concept of what it means to work from a distance like we do, right? Because of course their fence installers can't be in another state. But we see each other every day, right? We have these kinds of video chats literally every day, like we do with all the other team members. So I get that question a lot. What's it like to not see your team members? It's like, oh, that's not the way it is. We see each other every day.
Yeah, and when we get together in person, which several of us did, it gets even better. So we've got a great team. We're very proud of it. So in last episode we introduced several team members. We'll probably do that next month. We've got several new ones coming on and continue to grow, and we're excited about that.
Yeah, it's nice to add good quality humans and highly qualified individuals to our team, and that's what we're doing. It's great.
Not only have we been adding a lot of .comers to the team, but we've been adding a lot of great graphics to our database. Our digital asset management platform is growing by leaps and bounds with great new graphics, and we just wanted to feature some of the latest ones we've added. So I'm going to let you talk about some of these new ones we've added. Not that we had to talk about the details of them, but man, we've been adding a lot.
Yeah, anyone who has seen me speak or speaks with me frequently knows that I just love our graphics. I'm very visual, and I'm just proud of the work that the team does. I can't do it, right? I barely draw stick figures, but it's hard for me to pick out like all the graphics that we make all month long, and we make a ton of them to go and show our 3 or 4 or 5 that's supposed to represent the whole set. It's really tough, but this is a good idea to show people just some of the stuff that we're up to. It's awesome. I love it. And it's helpful to the clients. Obviously it makes the websites look so much better.
Because in most cases, if our .com clients have specific needs for their site, we will customize graphics just for their needs, because not every fencer does the exact same technique or uses the exact same product as everybody else across the country.
Yeah. I'm going to turn off some notifications here. I'm getting dinged. So a lot of folks, look, if they use certain brands, especially aluminum and vinyl, we have the full sets of those brand sets. But especially in like wood fence, there's a lot of different installation techniques. So we have all those, and we can do anything. So no matter how custom the folks we work with are in the way they install, we can be that custom in what we create for them.
Yeah, and it's definitely one of our signature things that if you see our fence graphics, it's a .com site, and that we want to keep it that way. So, well, not only are we adding graphics, but or talking about graphics or great content, I definitely want to take a moment and talk about our content team. And our content team is continuing to grow. I think we have someone new coming on here in the next week or two. So this is going to be an old slide in about 2 weeks. So our content team is an outstanding group of people. And tell the group, the listeners or the watchers about our content team. What do they do for .com?
Yeah, so we have, as you can see, we have 7 content writers here. We're about to add an 8th one. I think sometimes people are surprised how many writers we have, right? And these people are experts in the fence industry. That's why we need so many of them, because there's a lot of writing. Content is very important for Google rankings. It's very important to connect with your website visitors and to get them to take action and to present your features and benefits and what, who you are as a company in a compelling way. So we use all the latest tools. I know that there's been a lot of questions we've fielded lately about, the role that AI plays. And
Right.
I've even seen some stuff online on some Facebook groups where fencers are saying like, oh, well, I just have AI write it for me. And that is not a path to success. Google,
Right.
this is not a time for teaching, but if you're doing that, that's going to be a problem for you. So,
Yeah.
and I'm very proud of this content team, man. They do a great job.
And before I forget, you mentioned the AI aspect. You spoke about AI a little bit more in depth at the Fence Tech sessions, and those sessions are on YouTube now. So if anyone wants to watch Sam's sessions, which includes more about search engines and trust and content, definitely go to our YouTube channel, subscribe over there. We're going to be adding more and more content. But his two sessions, one's like an hour long, another one's an hour and a half. So there's great information there. So if you've never heard Sam speak, definitely go over to YouTube and see our latest two sessions. You'll get a lot more information there as well.
Yeah, thanks for that reminder. That just posted yesterday, I think.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
That's awesome. So it's fresh, hot off the presses.
That's right. All right, and one of our top growing departments at DotCom is our paid ads team. We've gotten a lot new clients come in recently, and we thought it'd be really good for us to take a few minutes and just talk about some of the details and aspects of paid ads. And so just want to remind everybody, if you need help with paid ads, you need a consultation, or you just need some insights on how things are working for you, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We can connect you with Garrett and a paid ads group. Noah's over there, and they can really help you out. But let's talk about, Garrett put together some numbers for us for how paid ad averages are working together. And this is from February. So you mind if we take a few minutes and go over that?
Yeah, let's slow down on this one. We don't do a lot of teaching on the buzz necessarily, but I think that there's so much interest in paid ads right now. Whatever the economic forces are and whatever's happening, there's a lot of conversation around ads. So let's slow down and dig into this a little bit more than we normally
Sounds
would.
Good. All right, so first let's talk about the Google local service ads. There's going to be three areas of advertising that we work with.
So local service ads are a big type of ad that we believe in. This is the core of where most fence contractors should begin their paid ad campaigns. So we're calling it out as what we're seeing average with the folks that we're working with, and not just the folks we work with, but we have a lot of folks that share their ad data if they were working with other agencies and they're considering moving to .com, and we'll do evaluation. So this is based on a really good data set. And so we're seeing $50 to $60 cost per lead, but I have to be super clear with you guys. We have a high bar for what we call a lead. For us, a lead is anyone who completely fills out a web lead form, or is on a phone call with you for at least 1 full minute, right? So that we have to make sure that we're using our terminology properly. Because some folks think that's just, any random thing that hit your inbox at all, or that's a lead. And so just be aware that we set a very high bar for what we think a lead is.
Yeah. The next one is Meta, which is things like Facebook.
So we're seeing here that the average cost per lead on Facebook ads, Meta ads, is just slightly higher than it is for Google local service ads. But again, these are averages across the country,
Right.
And any one given market can see significant differences. There's plenty of places in this country where the Meta ads actually are a little bit less expensive on a cost per lead basis. So, it really is very specific to where you happen to be, but it's always nice to see what the averages are.
Right. And those averages, I imagine, correct, Sam, are based on competitors and who else are buying for that same ad space, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you're in very competitive markets like Dallas and Houston and Atlanta, and there's, several more that come to mind right away, these numbers can be quite a bit higher. And there's actually small markets that are some of the most expensive ones, because there happen to be 2 or 3 alpha male fence company owners that are really aggressive, that just happen to be in a smaller market. And man, they can really drive the prices up.
Sure. And the last one is Google paid ads.
Google paid ads, this is the traditional one that most folks, maybe if you've ever done any online paid ads at all, this is probably the one that you're familiar with, the pay per click ads. So again, this is not per click, this is per lead. It's common to get a fair number of clicks, 8, 10, however many clicks per lead. And again, I have to stress that there's a lot of other web forms that are partially filled out, or there's phone calls that were kind of quicker phone calls that might be in there. But if they don't meet very strict criteria, we don't call it a lead. So that's why those numbers may look a little high to some folks, because these are legit opportunities.
Sure. And just to finish this one on, here's a few more bullet points that Garrett gave us.
Yep. So we hit that top one, the cost per lead increases in competitive areas. Video ads and fresh creative images are performing best on Meta. By the way, our Meta lead cost is significantly lower than we've seen from any other agency that I've run across so far. Right. And I believe it has to do with the fact that we have such awesome creatives. So that's super cool. The local search is, again, we believe that's the best place to go, because the intent, people know that this is a local company, they know it's an ad, and they want to click on it. If they're clicking on it, they're literally raising their hand and saying, sell to me. So we like those ads. And then, of course, seasonal demand, depending on where you are in the country, can have a bigger impact in different places. And as we go into spring, no matter where you are in the country, the demand does tend to pick up this time of year.
Yeah. And, just to kind of wrap up the paid ad activity, you've stressed the paid ads may not be where you need to be year round. If you've got a robust, effective working website with great SEO, those sales leads should be going through your site. But oftentimes, depending on the time of year or what your site's doing, paid ads are also necessary to be competitive. So
I'm so glad that you said that. I think sometimes newer fencers or folks that maybe they've been in the fence industry a long time, but haven't done a lot with online marketing, SEO, paid ad stuff. I think a lot of times they think it's an on or off kind of situation. Like, we're going to run ads or we're not running ads. But the more successful companies, they use these ads throughout the year. If they hit a little bit of a soft spot in the season and they don't have as many leads, they turn some ads on to fill in the gaps, and then as they get busier, they turn them off. And so controlling ads as part of the overall lead source, your lead funnel, sometimes it's on, sometimes it's off. That's just the way it works.
Well, part of the success of our ads team is to create reports. We want to make data-driven decisions, and Garrett and the team have put together excellent reports so that our clients can see the success, see how things are performing, and then customize it to the information that they need for the range of dates and whatnot. So Garrett's put these charts together, and let's talk about what we're looking at here.
So yeah, we could go, I don't even know how many screens deep. And so we're going to show you guys a few of the screens, but I think the key takeaway here is that I have never seen an agency that has better reporting than we have. And that is also true in the paid ad space specifically. So you're getting a screenshot here of what some of these different reports are and what some of these different things mean. Some of the folks watching this buzz right now are much geekier than others. So I don't want to geek out completely, but I think the key takeaway here that many people may be surprised about is that these reports are just about 100% customizable to the things that you care about. So we certainly have our recommendations about tracking total costs and cost per click and conversion rates and things like that. I mean, there's a lot of things that we care about, but there are some folks that we work with that measure other types of metrics also that they care very much about. And so these are not canned pre-programmed reports. We can live track any data and customize everybody's report to what they care about. And that is, I'm not sure I've seen that from another agency. I'm very impressed with our ad team.
And we brought this up in one of our tips here in the last couple of weeks on our social media about how your site should be very mobile friendly and responsive to mobile size. And here's just evidence of how many people for this particular client, how many people used mobile devices to view these ads too. So, make sure your site, whoever you're using for your website, if it's not at .com, make
I
sure it
love
looks good on mobile.
I love that. And I like that you stuck here, and I want people to really focus in on that and make sure you understand what Aaron's saying here is that darker blue part of the circle, which is the vast majority, that's mobile device traffic versus computers or tablets. So I know a lot of the people we work with know that cell phones and mobile devices represent a lot of traffic, but I'm not sure people realize just how big of a percentage. So there it is right there.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome, Sam. I want to jump to our next topic, and that is we seems like we talk about this every other issue, but it's probably one of the number one things that we stress with our clients from the beginning of their website going live through the lifespan of their website, and that is getting good photos. And I think the great thing about talking about this now is that spring is upon us, and flowers are blooming, grass is growing, depending on where you are in the country, of course. Here in Florida, all the flowers are blooming. The azaleas are out. Anyways, it's a great time to get some beautiful photos, especially of your team and your crew and your staff. And so we're going to go through a lot of photos here pretty quick just to give you some highlights, and maybe you can comment on some of those tips to help the fencers do a little bit better job on that.
Yeah, so we have Aaron has selected, some of our team members also have selected some examples here of, in this particular case, individuals on the team, just to maybe try to inspire you to see how this can be done. We have other teaching, training, coaching videos that actually have way more examples than this. But I'm hoping that maybe we can inspire some creativity in some of the folks that haven't participated. So that's great. I love that. Yeah. So, we're just going to blow through here, and, a lot of these are hoverable, right? That's the thing we didn't say. So you can hover over it and different things happen. And some of these you can click on and get full bios, even videos of some of these guys talking about their role in the company or why they love fence or whatever. So, we're showing individual photos, but there's action that can be taken, interactivity.
And these are all the ones we just showed are staff photos. We would call them like they're, you've got a photo, you got a name, maybe you have a title, and you don't even have to use last names if you don't want to, but it gives them the opportunity to get to know you, see the eyes, see the smile, get to know them as humans. And we talk about trust all the time, and these are great trust factors. This goes great on your About Us page, or maybe on the home page. You can put the owner if you want, or even your history. And maybe even show pictures of, granddad and dad and son and, all that. So there's so much you can do with the staff team, but we really encourage people to do that. And it goes a long way to building trust.
Some of the folks we work with just want to show maybe just the leadership and management team, which I get, because there could be a lot of staff turnover. But some folks we work with that have pretty stable crews might show all their crew members. So you can handle it however it works best for you.
Sure. Yeah. Let's switch over to, these are what we would call team photos, where you're showing, let's say, most of your team or all of your team. And I threw in there, this is Accent Fence got their fleet. That's another way. If you're going to do your team photo, and might as well throw your fleet in there as well, just so that you can show that, again, it gives we're a reputable company. We can handle any kind of job. So especially if you're trying to compete in a commercial realm, showing that you can handle those kind of work is a good idea.
Yeah, if you happen to be so blessed to have a larger team or a little bit larger fleet, that does make you stand out against many of your local competitors. I'm sure that that's not news to any of the fencers that are watching this. So, if you have it, show it, kind of thing. But the great thing about the web is, if you don't have it, if you're a small team, the web can make you, especially, under the .com participation, we can make a small team look like a big team too. So, yeah.
And, this is an opportunity to also show off your brand colors. Most of these photos you're going to see, they're either putting their main color, black, blue, red, whatever it is. So definitely get your team some good shirts and show them off, show them organized. That's a great looking team. And this one's really beautiful. Get a good photographer that can help you. This one you can see there's kind of a filter on it, and all their photos have that same vibe. So really great looking set, and you can tell they got some help, which is really good.
You know, as you're going through these photos, I'm just seeing a whole list of friends. It's so
Yeah,
fun for me
it's
to
awesome.
go as we're clicking. I'm like, oh, I know him, I know her, like, you know, and it's
Yeah,
I haven't talked to her in a little bit or whatever it is, you know, like I'm just seeing
yeah,
a whole set of friends.
yeah. Well, the next group is these are in no way, shape, or form are the biggest and best that we have, but we just wanted to quickly show some photos that we have a lot of tips that we throw out. And like Sam says, we've got some videos where, we can give you a little bit more in depth about photos, but maybe highlight some top 5 things that you would tell a fencer taking photos or telling this team going out taking photos that you'd want them to look out for.
Right. So different fence companies take photos for a whole lot of different reasons of their projects. Sometimes y'all just want to document that the project was done and it was done, completed properly. And so a lot of times we'll call those contractor photos. You stand in the street or you stand at a distance and you take a flat photo. And there's a use for that. But from a marketing standpoint, we need to be a little more creative. Right. So take angles. You can see not only is this at an angle, but whoever's taking this photo is kind of crouched down a little bit to make the fence feel a little bit more majestic.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. Corners. I think that first photo you had shown where you see inside and outside corner. Yeah. Right. So go ahead and don't just take a flat on shot. Let's show corners and turns and curves if you have them.
Yeah, and the lighting I think is important. In this particular photo, the sun is on the back of the fence, but the sun's not causing a horrible glare. But make sure the fence is well lit. That's one thing I like about this. It's like the afternoon sun, and I even like that the house in the background it's in shadow because it's not the purpose of this photo, it's the fence. So that's really nice.
Yeah.
Again, another photo where the photographer is getting down lower and the angles, the perspective is really nice on this picture.
Yeah. And we have we have more coaching videos about just small details that you can add to make these photos better. So you can have, if you have a crew chief, a foreman that's out on the job site that's responsible for taking photos at the end of a project, you can have them watch a 10-minute video and get a few tips. And next thing you know, all of the photos are a little bit better. So we, as we're going through these photos, these were hand selected, just, what was available at our fingertips. But the coaching videos have other, very nice examples that would be even better than some of these. But it's, hopefully, again, we just want to inspire people to think about this.
Awesome. All right. Well, that's y'all's mission the next month or so. As the grass is growing, the flowers are coming out. Get some great photos and reach out to, if you're working with DotCom, reach out to one of our client managers and say, hey, I got some new photos. Let's get that on site and let's make it beautiful this year. All right, we're going to move over to what we call our community talk. And really the main thing that I want to talk about is the Mr. Fence Academy retreat we just returned from last weekend. And what a great time we had over there. And these are just some of the photos. If you're following Mr. Fence Academy, you probably saw some other pictures over there, but these are some that we captured. The swag was off the charts. We all wore theme shirts for each day. That's what you see on the bottom left there. Choice, chance, and change. I'm not sure if I got that order right, but I think I did. Yeah. But yeah, the entire group all matched. We were stressing those topics each day, but it was really great to meet. We had several clients there, and you can see there Sam looking pretty small. Sam is not a small guy. Just
Big John is like, he's extra Big John. He's big human.
And I don't know if you saw it, but they shared pictures of him doing the splits on the last night. I couldn't believe he could do the splits. So.
Good Lord.
Yeah, we had a great time. And starting off with the team meeting, we had a kickoff night. And Sam, you had opportunity to speak 3 times. And there was so much that you were able to share with those fencers. We had a packed house. There was no seats. All the seats were filled. Anybody that were not in the seats you saw here were probably rushing to a break because they packed the sessions in.
Yeah, you're right. I'm actually surprised to see a couple empty seats in this particular moment because there were no empty seats. There's people actually standing back behind where this photo is being taken, off to the left, off to the right. It was a packed house. It was a great event. Sean King and the whole crew over there at Mr. Fence Academy Retreat just absolutely crushed it this year. This was the 5th annual. Very happy to say that I've been there from day one to participate in this, to grow, watch it grow, and and of course this event is powered by .com. That needs to be mentioned, but a great week. It was awesome.
Well, as we finish up, just want to remind everyone, again, feel free to reach out to one of your project managers or just message us and let us know if you'd like to get more information about any of our affiliate programs where you can save some money on using any of these resources, and we're glad to help you there. But we do have one more thing to get to, and as we finish up this buzz, and that is, tell us about this, Sam. What's going on?
So this is the worst kept secret in the fencing industry.
Yeah.
In the fencing industry, there is a tiny percentage of folks who do not know who Justin Judy is. He's a celebrity here in the industry because he's so impactful. And Justin has decided to join the .com team. And so if you've been watching social media or you're tapped in at all, you probably already knew that. But I figured let's just make it semi-official here now that Justin is he's just a few days from now. So early next week, he's going to officially join .com. And the cool thing about this is that so many of the .com team members already know Justin before he ever joined on. So we have a good friend and a great professional in the fence industry, very well respected, who's going to be joining the family. And that's worth rejoicing for sure.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be a great time. And that just means only bigger and better things for .com. So stay tuned. We're excited about it. And you're going to see more and more of Judy here in the near future.
Nice.
All right, Sam, as we wrap it up, let me remind everybody to connect with us on social media outside of whatever platform you're watching this on. YouTube's a great resource. You're going to see more and more from that, but definitely stay tuned with us. We have tips and information, some Sam quotes that puts out, and just we'd love to engage with you over there. So make sure you're following us. And but until next time, Sam, as we always say, let's be awesome together. And I'm excited to what the next month holds. Don't hold your breath too long because we got a lot to do,
Aaron, thanks for everything you do here with the Buzz and here at .com. These episodes would not be possible with many members of the .com team. This is a group effort for sure, but I appreciate you heading this up. I appreciate the .com family and extended family of friends tuning in here. I hope we bring value. That's really our goal here, is to help you improve and be better. So thanks, guys.
All right, until next time, we'll see y'all later.
To keep up with the buzz, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell to get notified on our next video. To work with us, let's talk fence. Visit .comglobalmedia.com. Websites that don't suck.